The legendary Josh Brown, man. So you feeling all right, bro?
Man, I'm good. There we go. Had to get
Good.
that light from shining on my
Listen,
head.
listen, bro. We used to just talk about all it take to get all them angles just right, man.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so yeah, man. So, like we discussed, just want to go through, man, and just rap with you, man, just about the Josh Brown behind the keyboard, man.
It's
I
crazy.
do this because you've been in music long enough to know that we get starstruck, by the gift and by what we see, and the human gets ignored. You know what I'm saying? We see
Yeah,
even with people on grander stages, we they get special treatment, and all they want is the real deal. Just holler, come to me straight. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
it's important, I feel, for people to realize what's behind the stage, what's behind the curtain, because it gets overlooked, man. It's you looking at one, although it's a major thing, especially with us as musicians. It's only one dynamic of who we are. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's dive right in. So what was it like for you? Growing up, kind of getting into music. What was that like?
Um, it was interesting, but it was cool. So my grandfather pastors a church, of course, in St. Louis, St. Luke Memorial.
Okay.
And so I started playing drums there. Um, and then my dad's side of the family, my great grandmother used to have a group called Harrietta Williams and All My Children. They used to
That sounds
go
like
around
church.
singing. Yeah, so I was born into two really, heavily church families.
Mhm.
And so music just came natural. My uncle, my dad's brother, plays the drums. His name Lonzo. So of
Okay.
course he had drums downstairs. I was trying to, figure out. Um, and so yeah, man, started playing at my granddad's church as a kid. Um, my mom and them had a singing group as well, Sisters United. So tried to play with them, just being in church. Um, and then as I got older, I kind of started playing keys and stuff.
Hmm.
Not much, but yeah, I was, made my way through St. Louis, really as a drummer,
Okay.
coming up, and then now more so as a keyboard player. 'Cause I don't play drums at all.
Do you miss it? Do you?
Sometimes, but not really. Like I can still play.
Hmm.
Like I can surely get you through a song or two, a couple songs. But
Yeah.
if they start shouting, it's a rap. Like
It be
if
like
it's
it's a
if it
muscle.
get if it get too churchy and we got to do all of that, like, it's over with.
I understand.
So yeah,
So at that age, so it sounds like you played for a lot of groups coming up. Were you like? I mean, it's still early, like ages 5 through 10, even then, kind of playing through.
well, man, I did a lot of like Baptist stuff.
Yeah.
My granddad's Baptist, so of course I was heavily a part of um, Baptist Youth Fellowship on
Hmm.
all levels in the district, in the state. I played drums at the national conventions.
Hmm.
Um, I used to. I wouldn't necessarily say play for a lot of groups.
Okay.
Um, I did. I played for a couple, but I wouldn't just say I was like playing for everybody. I was young,
Hmm.
so my mom she didn't really go for all of that. Um, when I was coming up, everybody was still home. You still had like Marcus, he was killing with whoever, Rapture or whoever at the time.
Hmm.
Um, Kevin was still home playing for everybody. Andrew Exum, Andrew Bethany, they used to both play with Oscar Williams.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, from y'all's side, Jamel, is that his name?
Okay.
Jamel Grinston?
Uh huh.
He used to do all two stuff. Rob, um, even like Katron and them was still home. So TJ Green, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
The hoopers.
I used to get in where I fit in.
Yeah.
I went to school with TJ. I went to school with Katron. Smino was killing drums back then.
Hmm.
Um, so Yeah, Chris Smith, that's his name. Yeah, he was killing drums,
It's
but now he a
started
rapper.
off
So
like the cat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like
And
those
I
are the
I've been thinking about it, man. Now you got me thinking because it's a cat. Now I'm kind of linking up and trying to show him around the city, man. From Chicago, dude is killing. And he was like, man,
dope.
who are some of the cats? A lot of them names that you just names I didn't even think of because they elsewhere now, but you rattled off like,
Yeah, those for a long time. Those was a lot of the guys.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
those were some of the guys, man. Like especially like Kevin. Like I said, that was one guy that I definitely came up under. Who else? Sylvester that played organ.
yeah,
He used to smack drums, bro.
I believe it.
He used to smack
I can
drums.
I can tell, man. I've always said that dude was such an aggressive player. Like I met him when he was over at Central Baptist. Of course he was playing organ by that time, but it's just like I know dude hopped on kit.
Yeah,
He threw him to
he
the
used to
floor.
smack drums too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like all of those guys were just it was it. The bigger stuff was Kevin and Rob, and like I said, Andrew, them. And then we did the young stuff. The young cats that was coming up. Um, and so now it's even more guys. Benny in St. Louis killing now. Um, who else? Arthur,
Yeah.
Gerald Rucker
Yep.
went to school with him too.
Oh wow.
He killing. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot of guys back home,
So
man. That
so at this time, I guess I ain't gonna say in this time, but when you was coming up through school and everything, I'm aware that like music was treated different, as
what you
far as
mean?
like the interest, what I'm saying, the I guess the
Yeah,
appreciation for what it is. There was
for
an
sure.
emphasis, a different emphasis on like band programs and stuff like that. All of them, marching band, jazz band, all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
it was a different interest in like sports and stuff like that too. So how did you do anything like that in your school days, like in basketball, track, football, any of that?
Yeah, so I played basketball up until high school.
Okay.
So in high school, I missed all the pre camp stuff.
Mm,
So I came in the tryout super out of shape.
yeah.
Didn't make the team, and I just never bothered again after that. Because when you get to high school, that's when everybody start having their growth spurts, and mine never came. So, yeah, I just let it go, bro.
Let some people tell you
But
like
I
it is.
definitely used to play ball a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
even the dudes that we was in school with that played basketball knew. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I was also in the band program at Hazelwood Central, and we was fine.
Yeah.
We were good. Uh,
It's a different, man. It's just different. I wish it was something that I could experience. We were decent, but it's just a different, vibe, a different
yeah.
purpose behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially
Yeah,
going
man.
to what seems like a predominantly black high school, like it's gonna be different rep, different, you know what I'm saying,
Well,
energy.
at that time, you
Uh-huh.
gotta remember that was in like '05 to '09. I was there,
Okay.
so it was a lot of black people, but it was still mixed.
Okay. Okay.
Heavily still kind of mixed. So we were a core style marching school,
Yeah.
and I personally didn't march. I did concert band and I did some jazz band.
Okay.
More so concert band stuff because all I wanted to do was play in church after that anyway. Um,
Listen.
but yeah, concert band, we were great. We
Yeah.
got ones, and yeah, we were always scoring high at state and all of that kind of stuff.
That's
So
what's up.
yeah,
It's a
it's
different.
definitely a different appreciation for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's if you pay attention, there's a lot of stuff to pull from it, especially if you in a situation where you constantly going back and forth and you hear stuff, you go to church and you try it out.
Yeah,
I
for
did
sure.
in high school. I did all three.
Okay.
So it was, taking all that marching band stuff and then moving around the kit when I got to church, and then hear
Yeah.
stuff in wind ensemble and try to, emulate it and do some string work and all that kind of stuff, man. So it's in jazz, man.
Yeah, that's
That's
all
what
you
we do.
need.
Right,
That's church.
right. That's what we do. So
Yeah.
how was the balance? Would you say around that time? Because you still kind of playing with your family, playing for your father, doing sports, doing band and all that stuff. So how did you? Were you aware of kind of how much activity you had? As a youth, just doing
Yeah, so I think kids today are 1,000 times busier than I was when I was a kid.
Mm,
Um, I I stayed with my grandparents a lot of the time, so it was church and school all the time. Church and school. So Tuesdays was rehearsal night, so I would come home from school. Of course, I did gospel choir though at Central too. So
at the
outside
high
of
school
like,
level.
yeah,
Wow.
I did gospel choir at Hazelwood Central. Um, and so we did that, and then I would go home. At least like on Tuesdays, we'd be going straight to rehearsal just about. Um, and so when I got a little older, I got a job, and so then I did that. But I was chilling, man. I was a kid. I used to get home from school and I want to go outside and hoop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these,
Yeah.
I wasn't on video games. I ain't have no super crazy schedule. If I was at home, I was probably outside playing ball, hanging out, with my friends or whatever,
Hmm.
um, or at church. That was pretty much all I knew. Especially once I stopped playing sports, that it was over with. It was
Oh, I
church
believe
and
that.
church and school, church and school. That was it.
Yeah, I was the same way as a kid, and then once I got to high school, it seemed like it was school, band, church. When it ran that circle. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know which one I want to attack first. I'm gonna just go here. So, uh, as you start to step more into the professional world of music, first of all, how did that become like a career choice for you? Like, were there any other interest that you had to kind of wrestle with for a second, or did you always know and just chase it?
I went off to college. I was in a band in school there at Stillman. I marched there for 2 years, and then I moved. I went to the University of Alabama,
Okay.
which was the PWI, the huge roll tide school that we know today.
Hmm.
And it was culture shock, super culture shock, because it was so big. I had to get a decal that I didn't understand it. It was too much for me. I was kind of overwhelmed. So,
Yeah.
um, oh,
You good,
sorry.
bro?
Okay. Um, so what ended up happening was I moved to Tennessee.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. That's Corey Fuller. Send him to voicemail. All right. I call him back. But yeah, so I moved to Tennessee to start playing at a church out there,
Okay.
and that's kind of where I got introduced to track and for real
Hmm.
stuff like that. And then when I came back home, I finished my degree. I got my degree and everything like that.
Hmm.
But I just wasn't really interested in other things.
What was your
Um,
degree in?
music,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. And I took business as a minor. So if I had to do anything outside of music, I'd probably get into business
Hmm.
like a real corporate job. Um, I would have said that would have been my other career choice.
Gotcha.
Um, Aside from that, I've worked at in upper higher education. So I worked at
Oh.
Stillman College too for a couple years. So that would be fun. But music has always just been the thing that I was good at, the thing I knew. Um, and so I really just didn't explore nothing else.
I
And,
mean, that's okay.
I made it work. I made it work. And by the time I graduated college, uh, I was doing some stuff. I graduated undergrad in 2018.
Okay.
Um, so I was doing some things, not super heavy, but I was kind of getting some work. And then the pandemic hit, and thankfully, I had a job where I was working at the school.
Hmm.
And now, like, I just don't have time to do nothing else. Yep,
Which is
I don't have
crazy.
too much time to do anything outside of music, man. So that's kind of how it worked into it. Of course, meeting people, doing some things in between there, but
Hmm.
that was always pretty much what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah. So in that drive or in that passion to do music, I mean, as musicians now, it's a lot more than just playing, as you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
for sure.
sometimes takes a lot of people to it takes people a lot of time to kind of realize it, but you got to be your own financial advisor sometimes. You got to have some time management skills. You got to have some leadership skills, whether it's, group leadership, personal leadership. You got to have
Yeah,
communication skills. You got to know how to dress yourself, know how to, you know what I'm saying?
for
Uh,
sure.
got to be wise about, even down to how to pack your car, what gear you need and all that. So, um, did you ever have to like really sit down and kind of assess those skills, or was it something that just kind of subconsciously developed as throughout the years?
Yeah, I actually had to make myself do some things. Like I had to tell myself, okay, this is not working. I need to try something different.
Hmm.
Or, you know, if I want to be better at this, so this is what I need to do. I need to figure this out. Um, a lot of the gear I even have today, a lot of it I bought kind of through the pandemic around that time.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was like, I want to do this. Um, and so I started kind of doing my research and digging more into what I needed, what made sense, having conversations with people. Hey, what do you do? How am I supposed to do this? How do I do that? Watching people, um, and setting goals for myself. So, like for example, this year, um, I said, all right, during the month of March, I'm going to finish products. Whatever I feel like I'm lagging or whatever needs to be done now, like March is gonna be it.
Hmm.
I have to get I gotta get ahead. I gotta get on back on the front side of all this stuff I got going on because over the next 2 months, I'm it's pro I know a young lady, an artist that I worked with, she's releasing her EP. Guy I work with is releasing a single. Um, somebody else I work with is releasing a prayer CD. Um, another artist is probably releasing their single. So it's a lot going on, man. And then there's people that still want to do work. So it's stuff that I haven't even touched that mentally is finna be on my plate.
Yeah.
So once I started getting more busy, I realized I needed to do some organizational things. Um, and then I quit my job in December. Uh, quit my job because I felt like that was taking up too much time. I couldn't I couldn't get products out the way I normally would. I wasn't as attentive as I should have been to certain things. And so I had to just trust God, man. I
Yeah.
felt like
Yeah.
I felt like my job was forcing me out. Like God was forcing me out of that situation. And I've been good. I've been great. This the top of this year has been
Nice.
great. I haven't missed a beat. And it was hard to make that choice, but um now I'm on the other side of it. I'm extremely glad that I did.
It's
And
important
so
to
yeah.
defy the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, man.
we get a lot of slack about how you ain't gonna make no real money as a musician and all that, bro. My life's on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I'm
but
cool, man.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
got to
I'm
address the other
okay.
side because we see, what I'm saying, we see the lights, camera, action, bro. But that's. I'm glad you addressed a lot of stuff that you addressed because it's more to it, and even like the piece in the gear, which we're gonna talk about more in a second. Um, Piecing that together, Rob Woody, taught me about that. That you don't got to go in and drop 5, 6 stacks every time. Just be, building it up and learn how to be strategic that way, and making some changes to get organized because it sounds dope you know what I'm saying, to be playing for half the city and doing everybody record and all that, but it's gonna take some organization and some
For
management,
sure.
and to
For
let go of
sure.
what you got to let go of, um, and even learn how to market yourself correctly, which we'll talk about later too, uh, so that your lights can be on, because you're not going to be playing for half the city for 25, $50.
Yeah.
You
And,
know
and
what I'm
and
saying?
if we being honest, a lot of it is figuring out what you need and how to make that happen.
Yeah,
Structuring your money. So what I've done since I quit my job, um, I had to figure out how can I make money to live, and then how can I make money to live.
yeah, right, right.
It's a bare minimum that I need, that I feel like I need to be okay. Now the rest of this is gonna help me be Josh Brown. Like, this
Hmm.
is gonna let me live and eat the way I want to do and do what I want to do and go where I want to go, buy what I want to buy. And that's where a lot of guys, I think, kind of, get the misconception about being full time into music.
Hmm.
I, I really don't do a lot of gigging per se.
Yeah,
So, you know, a lot of my money is made Sunday mornings. I do my best to make a decent amount of money on Sunday morning, and then the rest of it kind of comes from, when I say gigging, I mean like the secular side.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like I don't like having to take my gear places and be there all day. It's cool. Like, I don't mind it, but
If
sometimes I just be wanting to chill.
and the other side of it is, if I'm keeping it a buck, if I'm keeping it straight, real with you, a big part of it for me is the math. You know what I'm saying? If I can be in 1 2 hour service and make anywhere from $200 to $500 to $600, but then on the other side, I got to take my gear out, go, be this place. They want you there 2 3 hours before the gig for setup and sound check. They come back, and then I end up with 250 300. It's just like, bro, the math, the math ain't
Yeah, for
mathing
sure.
sometimes.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I do it because I find it important to have that experience, because
Exactly.
it's a different vibe, it's a different community, it's a different experience.
And
But
it can be fun.
yeah,
It
yeah.
can be fun.
But if
Yeah.
we
I
talking
would be
about just
lying
the
if I said
straight,
I could. Yeah.
yeah, if we talking
I
about
don't
just the
rely on
straight
that.
financial numbers,
Yeah,
bro, it's
for
not
sure.
time wise, money wise, bro. The math don't always be math. It
Yeah, for sure. And so for me, I don't rely on that at all.
hmm
I rely on what I know can be consistent, which is Sunday morning, um, my Wednesday situation. Like, that's my consistent money.
yeah,
Now, when I talk about producing and playing for artists and all of that, that's the living, like, that's the upside.
the
So
stuff comes and
that's,
goes.
yeah. And so when I don't have a high gig month, did I produce any records? Did I mix any records? Did I, what else did I have going on? Because you got
Yeah,
to be good with that, man.
and know
But
yourself
yeah,
and know your lifestyles and stuff like that.
for sure, for
So
sure.
let's shift gears slightly. Um, I know you remember fraternity, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
So how did that happen, and what is that? How does that kind of aided your life? Since joining that fraternity.
My dad is the bruhs. And so most people don't believe this, but we never talked about being in the bruhs. We never talked about it for real.
Oh
Of
wow.
course, I was around him. I was friends with some from when I was in school,
Hmm.
but me and him never really had that conversation. So, like, my senior year, he was like, "What you trying to do?" I was like, "All right," you know.
Hmm.
And so I joined the frat, and it's been great. I love it. Um, you always meet a friend somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the upside to it. I wouldn't necessarily say it don't do nothing for me musically, like,
Okay.
as a career choice. Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
don't. It does nothing for me in my career field. Not for real. Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything. But the fraternity is great because it is a brotherhood. It's a
Hmm.
great brotherhood that I didn't necessarily always have. I have siblings, but they're all younger than me,
Hmm.
and they're all very younger than me.
Okay.
There's a 10-year age gap between me and my next oldest sibling.
Wow.
So it gave me brothers that were closer in age.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So it's been great, man. It taught me a lot. Taught me a lot as far as my people skills, taught me a lot as far as communication, taught me a lot as far as organization. So all those things that you were saying earlier
Mm-hmm.
that musicians need to utilize, like it taught me a lot concerning that. Even my temperament, how I deal with people and deal with certain things. I can accredit a lot of those life changes to me joining the frat for sure.
I think that aspect is very important, especially as professionals, but as men, you know what I'm saying, as black men, bro, because it's a lot of stuff, man. People think it's sweet, but you get around a room full of grown men, bro. We ain't going for that.
Yeah, nah,
You
it's
know what I'm
not
saying?
sweet. Like,
And
you know, yeah, it ain't
and
sweet
just
at all.
and people that have kind of especially the older demographic that has learned how to manage that, and they not hot headed too, because it's you find out quick that there's some people that you ain't trying to be hot headed with. But when somebody is able to come and take you and say, hey man, and really and see past what's really your at face value anger and see the real issue and say, hey,
For
this how we
sure.
deal with that. This how we, this what's really going on, and this the game plan, and we here to help you through that.
Yep.
It changes your whole narrative. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, being a part of the fraternity that I'm a part of,
mm-hmm,
we're a little different from others.
mm-hmm,
It's a pretty aggressive group of guys. No matter how young or old.
right,
And so for me, I've learned that I'm not a high headed person. I'm pretty mild tempered all the time.
mm-hmm.
I really try not to ever get mad. Like it's weird. Like who wants to spend their day upset? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah,
So yeah. So for me, man, I try to be the bruh that I would like to see. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure I'm always teaching young bros. I make sure I'm always around. I'm always in the loop. I'm close enough to where if y'all need something, you can call me. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm, yeah,
And that's what I appreciate about the bros, about the frat. And it's not for everybody.
yeah,
It's definitely not for everybody. But you know, I appreciate the brotherhood, the bond I have with those guys. It's definitely unmatched.
yeah. It's I felt a little bit weird about joining mine. At first, and I really, especially being older, because I attempted. So I'm an alpha, and
Yeah,
so I attempted in undergrad, and it didn't quite go the way I was expecting. My dad, same way. My dad fret, and all my life I've seen, his experience play out. Frat brothers
for
come to the
sure.
house, and you got his 6 foot pad on the wall and everything. You still sometimes break out in a couple steps, and so I've seen it. Then I experienced it for myself. It didn't quite, the first couple of times didn't quite go the way I planned it. Then I got older, and I was just like, okay, like I really had to sit and think, like, okay, what's the benefit, especially at this stage of my life? Like, okay,
Yeah,
now I got my circle, got my business, I got everything that I thought it would be about, I kind of have. So is it going to be worth me going through? But it's going. Not only is it going, make you step up in a different way, and you embrace blackness, you embrace brotherhood, you embrace that, but it's also that extra layer of accountability, because I talk to people all the time about just the simple concept of relationship, and what we do, how we act, how we behave, who we encounter. You know what I'm saying? It's it's another layer of, okay, either I'm A, not gonna do it, or B, be very careful about how I do it because of who I'm connected to now.
absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And what
It's another, like you. It's not just you
right.
that you represent. You know what I'm saying? These letters across your chest. You know, you represent a whole group of people, a whole body of people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I mean, as a Q, we get a really strange rep sometimes, um, good or bad. And for me, man, I'm not like that. Like, you know, my dad being the bruh, he's a very, very well respected bruh. He is the he's our chapter president for our grad chapter.
Oh, okay,
He's
cool.
also the undergraduate advisor, off campus advisor. Um, you know, he's well respected within the frat, and
Mm-hmm.
to me, that was important to hold, to maintain, to uphold. You know,
Yeah,
was I gonna be the outest bruh, and every time you saw me, I was gonna have my shirt off and whatever. Nah, because that's just not me. Like that's not my vibe. But
yeah,
everybody know, you know what I'm saying? They know. Like they know me, they know where I stand, like, and that's really like that's what it's about. You know, you stand on your manhood, that's where we at. And
that's base level. If you can't do that,
yeah,
don't try to
yeah,
come in here and represent
yeah, the
the
conversation is dead,
yeah,
you know.
big deal,
Um
real quick.
so yeah, man, I love it. I love being a Bruins, and I definitely appreciate the shift that it made in my personal life. So,
Yeah. So let's shift gears back, man. So you started would you consider it your own business or just your kind of side hustle? Like, are you
nah,
official?
it's definitely my business now
Okay,
at this point.
okay.
Yeah,
So you started that and got going. So you say you're in Nashville now?
I'm in Birmingham.
Oh, so you okay, Alabama, but you
Yeah, I
stayed
moved back to Alabama in
okay,
2015.
okay. So what's kind of how did you find your niche? Because music is a very competitive field, you know, and if you're in an area where it's happening a lot, you know, everybody's kind of doing their thing, especially now with production just constantly gaining, you know, traction. Uh, how did you kind of find your own little niche to kind of set you apart?
Believe it or not, the first few people I started working with, they came to me after having bad dealings with other producers.
That can happen.
Uh, and so that's how I got started. I did a song for Kendra Stoudemire in 2017
Mm-hmm.
called Experience with You, and it came out well. It came out really clean. The mix was good, all of that kind of stuff. And that's how, you know, through relationship. I worked with this guy named Jeremy Hill. We dropped his record last year. Excuse me.
You good?
Um, who else? Lisa. So like with Lisa, I was actually helping a friend out.
Okay.
Um, he couldn't do a vocal session for her one day. And so he was like, "Yo, can you do this session?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, cool, whatever." So I ended up doing that, and then we started, you know, collect linking and collaborating more. And she wrote a song that she wanted me to demo for her. So I sent it to my dude Will. I sent it to Lacey Comer. He
Yeah.
played the demo joint for me, and we turned it back around for her in like a day, and it was sweet. Um, so she was like, "Josh, I want to do a record," and I was like, "Okay." I You can look at my social media today, back in like I think we probably did this record in 18, the summer of 18, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not publicly say nothing about that record until like the week of, maybe the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Cause in my mind, I was like, she gonna call Aaron and somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
she said she wanted me to do this, but she gonna bring somebody else in. So like that was my thought process. And so we ended up doing the record. I really hope and pray it'll be out this year. There's some really good music on there, but we're waiting to see, you know, when we drop that. And then honestly, it's just always been relationship, word of mouth. I don't really do a lot of great social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I It's just, you know, I I don't know how to do that. Like I don't really know how to be I don't know how to be a social media influencer. I don't know how to
Yeah.
like publicize myself. Like I don't know how to do it. when I'm
I
playing, I don't be thinking about, let me set my phone up and go live. I don't care. Like
mm,
I'm not thinking about that at the moment. And it's not a knock to the guys who do that. It's
mm,
just me personally, you know, and when I was a kid, we didn't have social media like this. People wasn't doing records or getting placements or doing this or getting calls from social media. They were getting calls from word of mouth, somebody seeing them somewhere, all of that. So, it's good and bad. For me, if social media crashed today, I would still be me.
yeah, and that's how you
Uh,
got to be.
I would still 100%. In my heart of hearts, I believe I would still be doing the same stuff I'm doing now. Um, and I don't think I've really gotten a call for a record yet based on something somebody saw from social media. Not really.
That's real,
And so I'm trying to get into it, but I genuinely just don't know
bro.
how to, like, where to start.
But we might
um,
wrap it. If you really trying to get to it, we could rap about it later. I know I'm not the best, but it's just a
yeah,
habit,
it's
man.
crazy.
It is.
It's crazy, bro.
And stuff changes so
I
fast.
watch
Like
Benny. Like Benny's social media presence is incredible.
that dude
Uh,
skyrocketed swiftly.
yeah, he's incredible, man. Him and some other guys that I've known over the years that I saw social media really be a help to. Um, and so I'm like, I want to learn. I want to figure out. Even
Yeah,
Jarrell, like Jarrell, don't really. I wouldn't say that he does it for like the influencer thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like he be posting the right stuff. Like he just posts the right stuff, and he's
And dude could just flat out
incredible.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, Drill has always been super different, bro. Like, and even I talk Chris Sanders. I talk about Chris Sanders all the time. To this day, I talk to people about Chris Sanders and how cold he is. And what was that stuff called? It was before we got Facebook Live.
Oh, like
Um,
Periscope and all that.
it was Periscope and it was one other thing.
Um,
I can't remember, but I think Chris had one of those. He had a Periscope or something, and he used to go
social cam
live
and
like it
all that.
was social cam. Yes, he had social cam. It was red, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Man, Chris used to go crazy on them Sunday afternoon clips at Sean Williams Church. Like
Oh, I
he was
remember.
going
Yeah, when he
nuts. Yeah, man, he
that
was
dude
going
was just
crazy. And people like he's one of those people too. Like they just don't be knowing that he's there because he don't really do social media. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's been through relationship building. Every artist I've pretty much worked with has been through a relationship with somebody somewhere.
so.
And
Let's talk
I
about that though,
prefer that.
because
You know.
the gig has been the same gig for years before you and I even got here. Like 90%, it might be a touch less, but the majority, 70 to 90% of this business is networking and relationship building.
Yeah, networking and
And
relationships.
so you've worked with a lot of names, whether it's big, small, in the middle, whatever. Talk about a little bit, kind of how you conducted yourself um, with when meeting these people, especially for the first time, because a lot of times, man, unfortunately, still you get these cats that meet somebody and the first thing they doing is trying to chop out or show them whatever catalog they got or do whatever, and it's not becoming, or people don't know what to do. People don't even down to a firm handshake, you know what I'm saying, like all of that stuff. So what is your kind of basis of interaction when having these dealings with people?
I don't normally fan out. That's the first thing.
Mm,
It's what's up, my name. I'm Josh Brown. That's normally how I introduce myself. What's up, man? I'm Josh Brown. Cool, you know. And the rest of it is normal. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? Um, um, like I said with Lisa, even when we first started working on stuff, she had to tell me to like be the same that I am with other people, the same producer kind of, my way of doing things with other people. She wanted me to do that, and because at first I was like, hey, man, it's Lee Snow. Like I ain't got to tell her what to do. She know, but she
Yeah.
was like, no, like produce me. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, and I got to open up more. I used to help out JJ Harrison sometimes, like when he came down south, and just different stuff like that. When he would be a couple hours out my way. Sometimes he would hit me and I would, fill in with him sometimes. I met JJ at Full Gospel. So what happened was we used to do the artist band. Me, myself, Matt Simmons, my homie Nelson, and this dude named his name just slipped me. But he is so cold though. He's from Orlando, and it's
Okay.
not Frank. It's not Frank
You
Bruno.
know the
It's
bass
another
player?
guy down there. Yeah. It's not Frank. It's another dude, but I cannot think of what his name is. Anyway, he's ice cream cold. So
Okay.
when we were in Florida and stuff, he would play with us. And then one year Austin Blackman played bass with us when we were in Columbus, I believe.
Super solid.
Um, yeah, killing. And so what happened was those couple years in Orlando, the first year was when JJ brought out You Deserve It. And so we were running his tracks in Logic, no cap. I set it up, and then next thing I know, when we start the track, it was sped up, and the track was it was in the wrong key. Don't know how it happened. He was like, "Cut the track," and we play after this.
Yeah.
And we played the song like, yeah, we didn't miss the stems at all. Um,
That's a whole
and
nother
then we
level.
did You Deserve It, played the record. Um, and so some other things where he wanted to make adjustments to his tracks, and I was able to like, all right, you want to move this, do what? All right, cool, done, ready to go. So we did that a couple years, and then he started just hitting me up when he needed me, like, um, a couple times. I did a couple little events with him here and there.
Hmm.
Um, and so man, he kind of let me grow like too with him. When he was doing that Love and Miracles tour, when he came to Birmingham, we did the Birmingham show, and then we did the Atlanta show with him too.
Okay.
Um, which was extremely fun. Um, I put my guys together. And we did it. But I was reliable. My dudes was gonna know the music when we got there. Um, integral, like that. That's how I started to get the calls, man. Um,
Hmm.
being in the right place at the right time, around people having conversations and talking when people wanted to talk to me. I wasn't. I had. There's a lot I feel like I should do, before I get to the place where me without me having to say, I'm not there. So I'm always gonna be humble no matter what.
Yeah.
But literally just being in the right places at the right time, being able to maneuver, being flexible. That's how I've always conducted myself.
And there's so much balance that's in that. You know what I'm saying? Because while you're being humble, you also have to be confident in what you're able to do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Your
you got to be a
accountability
dog for
and
sure,
your knowledge of your DAWs and all that, how to run stuff, because you're not always gonna get the other flip side of it. Unfortunately, is you're not always gonna get the people that's cool. You're gonna get some people that's not dope to work with, and you still got to maintain that because
you do,
the other part of the music world, bro, people talk. Like, you know what I'm saying, and you don't ever want to be in that position where your name is in the dirt, and they right about it.
man.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
is all you got is your name, bro.
That's
Your name,
bro.
your brand, your product. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I stand firm on my name when people say Josh Brown. Oh yeah, like that's my guy. Like it should never like I don't. That's why I don't really like. I just don't do that stuff. I don't mind being to myself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because
Like
I mean,
I don't mind it at all, man.
not to get super deep, you know what I'm saying, churchy, but it's like you understand calling an assignment, bro. It's like that's what you got, and the reality of the situation is, bro. I had a conversation with my guy years ago. Years ago, like I was like, okay, legit, like just test yourself. If you do this, you know, you saying God telling you to do whatever, do this project, do this record, do this concert, whatever. I was like, what if nobody shows up? What if nobody hear your record? If you still got the
Yep.
same juice behind it, then we ain't got nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because once you stand firm on that, on who you are and what you've been called to do, bro, can't nothing nobody say or do take that away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But it's a part to play. You know, you got to be humble. You can't be talented and arrogant, especially if you ain't making no money from it. You're
What
making
do you
no.
have to be arrogant about? You
Let's just
know,
ask
what
the
have you
question.
yeah, what have you really done to be arrogant about? And then the guys that have done work that could be arrogant aren't. So,
Do the math.
like
Put it together.
what's
You know.
happening here?
Right.
Yeah.
right.
What's going on? So
Right.
yeah, yeah, man. But it's just all about, you know, just being a regular person. All these artists and stuff, they're regular people. And if you can be trusted to be in the room, there you go.
Come on, man. Come on,
You
man.
know,
Just be able
some
to
people
be
just can't be trusted to be in that room, man. You see all these people who want to video and blah blah blah. I don't take pictures in half the situations I'm in. More than half. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't. I'm trying to get better at it, but like I want to enjoy the moment. You know,
yeah,
if we're somewhere and we chilling after the show, like show be yourself. You don't have to worry about me
definitely.
because I'm not gonna go and unless you just really tripping, I'm not the person that's gonna go back and be like, oh yeah, you know, I saw so and so do this. That's what messed a lot of people up. They talk a lot. They talk too much.
And
Some
that's
people
part of
talk to
trust,
get
bro.
themselves
Is
into rooms, and then they talk and get themselves put back out.
real quick, man. And it's like
Yeah,
it's that's another part about relationships is like you said being trusted, man. Because can I not only say can I trust you to learn the records and be a certain way, but can I literally trust you with me, like what I'm
exactly,
saying? Because we're all
exactly.
humans at the end of the day, bro. Like
That's it, bro. That's who we are.
you know what I'm
You
saying?
know, yeah.
We
Like Lisa, she's my sister. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew her husband before I knew her, for
hmm
real. Um, Marcus, and that's my dude. You know, I if Marcus not around, I'm gonna make sure she good. If ain't nobody else gonna make sure she good. Like that's family. You know what I
hmm
mean? And I'm just big on relationship, bro. Like I'm big on relationship. I feel like my granddad was one of the most integral people I've ever come across in my life. And for me to carry his name, um, I feel like I need that same thing said about me when it's all said and done. Like I don't want. Have I always been perfect? No. Have I always done things right? No. But my name is important, and I'm gonna always make sure if I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna try to keep my name intact.
Everybody can have an opinion about everything, but when it comes down to that, bro, that's one thing that's gonna be be fact. Like you, period. Um, so one of the last things, man, like you talked about coming up as a drummer, you get into playing keys, you've done production work, you've been in the production chair, you've been in the mix engineer chair, um, just a lot of experiences. So talk a little bit about um the importance of just playing your role, because it's especially
Mm,
once you get into the MD chair and the producer chair, because you start getting those leadership positions, man, and sometimes it becomes autopilot. Some people don't know how to turn it off. And so
Yeah.
you're not gonna MD every gig. Sometimes you might be on aux. Sometimes you might, be even just run sound, in front of the house or do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So being in all these different places where you got to wear these different hats and uh, conduct yourself differently. Talk about what that's like for you.
Um, it's literally what you said, knowing your role.
Hmm.
Um, I never forget some years ago, K Tron called me to do a gig when they was asking us to do a lot of stuff, and he was like, like that's the last thing. They didn't call us to be sound engineers; they called us to play. Sit back on the organ and let's wait till it's time to play. And I was like, all right, cool. And that registered, and I was like, you know what, you're absolutely correct. And so for me, and honestly, I think where most people get it wrong, it's not that leaders can't be led.
Hmm.
It's just that it's hard for us to take direction from somebody who clearly doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's all. I
Yeah.
don't mind if you want me to play aux, if you want me to play organ, if you want me to play keys and not MD, like whatever you want me to do, I'm cool with that. Um, and I honestly don't even say much. I may make faces or I may, every blue moon I'll be like, that was interesting.
Right.
But most of the time, especially when you're working with guys who know what they're doing, it's easy. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's super easy, man. Back at Full Gospel, we were doing this thing, and I was on organ. Reggie Strong was on keys. John was on bass, MDing. Reggie nor myself felt the need to try to take over, and that's what he's here for. And he's good at it. If you ask for my input, I'll help, but go ahead,
And
bro.
barely. Yeah. And
And
barely.
I've done the MD thing at Full Gospel before, especially like with the choir band and stuff like that. So, it's like, man, that's not my call this time. So let me just play organ. You
And
know,
sometimes,
uh,
you don't want that. You don't want that MD.
exactly.
It's not always sweet.
It's not, man. But and to make it more concise, I'll say like you just really know what each of those roles calls for. You know how to fill every void of whatever that role is. You the MD, you need to know everybody's everything. You should know what everybody's supposed to be playing. You should know everything about the situation, what everybody need, everything that needs to be known. You should know.
Hmm.
If I'm coming in as a work for hire musician, that I need to know the material. If that's the extent of what I need, the material, where to be, what to wear, tell me that, and I'm gonna do just that. If I'm helping run sound, I'm not gonna be in the back trying to MD. Like I'm gonna be running sound. Um, and that's just I'm helping the artist right now with a record, and we just got the horns back.
Hmm.
Me personally, I had things that I would say I would want or not want. This is not my record. I'm helping you out.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna wait until I hear from you before I tell this guy what I think he should do next. Um and granted, the decision was what she was saying was what I was thinking. But that's not
That's
it's
not
not
your
on me to
place to
make
say
that
it.
call.
Yeah.
I'm not producing this record. I was engineering something for somebody the other week, and one of the singers was like, "Well, what you think I should be singing?" I don't know. What do y'all normally sing? Y'all do this.
Right.
This is not my record. I'm not producing. Not to be a butthole about it, but
Right. Right.
this that's just it's not mine. So it's literally making sure you can wear those hats, man. Um, Producing is very different from MDing.
Yes.
MDing is very different from being a work for hire musician. Like, but all of those things carry weight. A producer may not ever play.
Yep.
That does not make him less of a producer. A producer gets you from A to Z. whether that includes him playing or not. You know, whether he makes the arrangements or not, that does not say he is or is not the producer. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They
Mm-hmm.
think the guy that did the music is the producer. No, the producer is the one who says, this is who I want. This is what I want to happen. This is how we get this done. Now, if I say I don't want to play, I'm going to produce. I'm gonna help get the songs. Um, I'm gonna sit in the arrangements. I'm gonna sit through rehearsals with everybody to make sure all the pieces of the puzzle are there and everything's being done correctly. But other than that, I'm gonna make sure the night goes well or the records go well and we do what we gotta do. But if I'm called to MD, that means I'm MDing. That means I'm MDing whoever is there. If it's a situation where I can bring my people, great. If not,
You gotta
do the
work with
job. Yeah, do the job. You know what I'm saying? If I'm working for me, hire a musician. If I know the guys ahead of time, great. If I don't, I look forward to meeting them when I get there. I've been in all of those seats, and in order to keep getting calls back, you gotta wear each of those things correctly, and then just go with it. It ain't hard, bro. It ain't hard. Do what they ask you to do, and then move on.
and I, and
Yeah,
realize how much
yeah,
control you have because you don't have to do it again if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's music is such a multifaceted world. You know what I'm saying? So many different ways to get your bag in this game, man.
yeah,
To where
man.
it's it's not
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
and if I'm keeping it a buck, you almost have to. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you got your Sunday morning situation, you got your Wednesday thing, and then everything else is everything else. Like me,
Yeah, bro, for
I got the
sure.
Sunday thing. I also teach. I produce. I do. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to, but I mean, if you don't, that just goes to show you that there's more than one way to skin this cat. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
So,
It absolutely is.
yeah, man. So, who would you say are some of your like influencers? In any scale. I know you write off a few names towards the beginning of our conversation and stuff, but
Yeah. So when it comes to keys,
hmm
definite keys and producing, Trent Phillips is one of my favorite people in the music industry that I know.
yeah,
I love Trent, man. That is one of my big homies for real. And I make sure no matter what I'm doing, no matter what conversation I'm having, if somebody asks me about an influence, Trent name gonna come up every time, probably first. Um, just because I do have a personal relationship with him.
hmm
Plus, I've been able to see him from near and far in different roles. So definitely Trent. One of my other favorites is my dude Tim Mason. I love Tim out of Memphis. And then you've got those when it comes to records and stuff. You got the Kevin Bonds, you got the Mike Burrells, you got the Aaron Lewis's, you got um, Cedric Thompson, Daniel Witherspoon. Um, you got the East Coast guys, Justin Savage, Kenny Shelton. Um, I often say like if I had a style from somewhere else, it would definitely kind of be that Baltimore vibe. I
hmm
just love I love the vibe. I love their music. Um, and then I'm huge fan of Philip Feaster on keys. Huge fan. Um,
man, that
yeah,
dude
huge
has
fan of
such
Philip
a
Feaster. Huge fan of Rodney East.
yeah,
Um, huge fan. Um, um, it's so many guys. Of course, my friends, Chris, Corey Fuller, Jarrell, K Trine. I talk about them guys anywhere, and I will put them up against anybody.
oh,
Um,
facts, facts,
like people that don't really know me don't be sometimes be like, no. I mean, literally in the entire world, I would sit those four down with anybody if we gonna take it how we get it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
what you trying to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And so, and then in St. Louis, I grew up in the day where Sean Williams was still playing. He's super cold on keys.
Hmm.
If people don't know that, Sancho and Stephen and Big Brother, Sean is
Okay.
ice cream cold on keys. Him, Oscar is still cold on keys. Kyle Kelly still cold on keys.
Is
Two is still cold and producing. He's one of the people that made me want to be a one-stop shop.
same.
Um, I mean, of course, you can't be from St. Louis and not mention Butch, not mention Chucky Caldwell. Charlotte Brown is actually who taught me how to play. Um, so the list goes on and on, man. A melting pot of amazing, incredible people. Uh, who else? My homie Jeremiah Chaney he from Indy.
Okay.
Love that dude's playing and production. He's super dope. Who else do I enjoy? I enjoy David Allen. That's my homie too. Super dope guy.
That dude know
My
about his art,
homie
bro.
Will Robinson he played bass.
Okay.
Love Will. That's my guy. Tony Bush. That's another one of my guys. Um, those are just guys I've either worked with or I look up to heavily.
Hmm.
I just got a lot of respect for. Um, it's so many, man. I watch some of everybody.
You mentioned
I'm a fan of just good music.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You mentioned
I'm a fan.
David and Frank and them, man, and like they all code individually, they code together, with the red camp stuff and all that, bro. But like I haven't touched on it in a while just because I haven't have found myself having to with the interactions. But
Yeah,
like I used to tell people for years, bro, like notice how them dudes stick together, bro, and like celebrate each other, bro. Like they've
each
been
other,
playing
bro. They
together,
celebrate each other wins for sure.
dude. Like they've been playing together for years. They put each other on. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be together on everything, but bro, ain't nobody winning without the other one. Like, and I'm like, man,
You gonna see them boys somewhere together every
oh,
time.
oh, I bet. And I'm like, man, in a world where people can be so cliquish, and you get somewhere and you start to act funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, let that be an example, bro, because
Yeah,
these cats came up through the ranks together, bro, and
for
they're
sure,
they're the musical example of everybody eating, bro. Like, you know
man.
what I'm saying? Like,
It's crazy, bro. Like, but you gotta have guys that hold you accountable and
yeah,
hold you up, man. You look at the MVP band, like them, they all brothers, pretty much,
yeah,
and they killing. Javon Hill and them, they killing so bad, bro. RC, Rylan Anderson from DC, him
hmm
and Dre and them, Gabe Bennett on drum, like them boys cold. You got Morgan, his crew with CJ and all of like but everybody pushing each other,
yeah,
man. Everybody pushing each other. And so even with mixing, I know most people say, they look for Yash and all of that and
hmm
John Blast and them, but I also like RC from DC, Kevin, of course. Like, man, it's a song on Cedric Shannon Reeves for out sing you out the four walls record.
okay,
Um, it's a song on it's like two or three songs that are ice cream cold, like
hmm
that came out of them camp, like bro, him and I think Jeremy Haynes played on one of them. Like it's I'm gonna send them to you when I find them. But yeah, bro, it's
yeah,
it's a lot of people that I listen to that I try to glean from.
yeah. You got to be a sponge, bro, because this world is changing every time you blink your eyes, man. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's just being able to take Aaron Lindsay is another one. Him in Paris, of course. I'm a huge fan of Aaron Lindsay. Um, but you gotta be able to take that stuff and create your own vibe.
yeah,
Create your own sound, man. Yeah, and that's where I am with a lot of things. I'm trying to figure out how to be the best version of me I can be. Um, I enjoy producing, and I feel like to keep producing, I need to continue to shave out my own place. You know, it sounds like me, but every artist don't sound the same.
Yep.
You know what I'm
And
saying? Like that's the goal for me.
that's what's important, man. And that's something I just talked to somebody about that I find important about the way I do business is that personal touch, bro. Because like it might look like one thing up front, but like you're trusted with somebody's baby right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
so you got to be skilled enough and have enough expertise to know how to bring it to life, but still realize like this is somebody else's seed. You know what I'm saying? So really adding a person and making it them. You know, you're not making it you, or you're not making it, another whoever Candy West record or whatever. Like you still have to highlight this artist, but you know, do it in a way that still makes it them.
Yeah, man.
And
That's what it's about.
yeah,
That's really what it's about, man. You don't, some people cool with sounding like the next person. That's just not my vibe. That's not me
nah,
at all, man. Yeah. So, but yeah, for sure.
that's good
But
stuff,
yeah, like
man.
you said, I'm a sponge, bro.
Yeah,
I listen to everybody.
yeah. Everybody got something to bring to the table, man. But
Facts,
this was
facts.
dope, bro. I definitely enjoyed. We don't talk a whole lot, man, but I definitely enjoyed rapping with you this past hour or so, man.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. It's been great, man.
yeah, bro.
I appreciate the time, bro.
Absolutely.
Um, appreciate the time, man. Hopefully we can do something in St. Louis or something
Yeah,
where everybody can just kind of, get together and have conversation.
we
Um,
got to. We got to, man.
yeah, I look forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Well, you take it easy, my dude.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yep.
Talk to you soon, man.
All right, man.
All right, bro.